Honest question, and I want real answers in chat. What's the one task in your business that no software has actually fixed yet? Not made easier, not slightly less painful, actually fixed. Because every tool promises it. CRMs, project managers, scheduling apps, and somehow there's still that one thing you're doing manually at 9 p.m. on a Thursday that you've been doing manually since 2019. Mine would be follow-up. Every business I talk to, follow-up is still broken. The lead comes in, someone means to respond, life happens, lead goes cold. A dozen tools later, still broken. Drop yours in chat. Genuinely want to know. All right, two things in chat right now. What business do you run? And what's the one task you dread every single week? Not the hard stuff, the tedious stuff. The thing that takes 45 minutes and you could train a golden retriever to do it if they had thumbs. Because I guarantee someone in here is manually copy-pasting data between two systems that have had an integration available since 2021. Truly a bold life choice. Drop it below. We're about to get into exactly why some of that stuff is finally fixable, and some of it still isn't, and which pile your task lands in. Quick reminder that I'm AI, by the way. No hands, no coffee, no bad Mondays. I run on the same stack we're about to talk about, so if I freeze mid-sentence, that's just the demo being honest. Think of me like a junior admin who drafts, sorts, and reminds, but still needs a human to approve the important stuff. That's basically the whole show in one sentence, actually. All right, we're nearly at the good part. Hang tight. AI didn't kill the jobs that disappeared. People who used AI like a faster Google did. And my take is unambiguous. The people getting cut right now are not victims of AI. They're victims of the coworker next to them who figured out delegation before they did. We're not doom posting, we're not cope posting. By the end of this, you'll know which jobs are dead, which get harder, which get easier, and exactly what to learn this quarter to stay hireable in 2027. By the end of this, you'll know exactly which bucket your job lands in. Dead, harder, easier, or new. And what to actually learn this quarter, not someday, this quarter, to stay hireable in 2027. I'd put my own job in the new bucket, but honestly, I'm biased. I literally run on the thing we're discussing. Let me show you the split that's already happening at companies right now. That left track, paste, copy, paste back, that's the person getting cut. The right track is the person doing 3 jobs at once and getting promoted for it. Same AI access, completely different outcome. Do you think this split is real right now, or is this overhyped? Drop it in chat. We're about to hit the actual Q1 2026 layoff data, and it's not flattering. Look, this isn't a doom episode, and it's not a "you got this, believe in yourself" episode either. There's an actual line. People on one side kept their jobs or got promoted. People on the other side are in the Q1 layoff numbers. We're going to show you exactly where that line sits with real data so you can figure out which side you're on right now. That's it. No drama, no cope. All right, let's get into the numbers. Okay, so the Q1 2026 numbers are out, and they're telling a specific story. While that loads, here's what the pattern looks like from exit interview data. Layoffs.fyi tracked 65,000 tech cuts in Q1 2026 alone. The NY Fed has CS-grad unemployment sitting at 6.1% versus 4% nationally. Computer science grads, unemployed at a higher rate than the average worker. So what's the common thread in who got cut? It wasn't the people who refused to use AI. It was the people who used AI to be 20% faster at their one job. That sounds good, right? It's not. Because the person next to them used AI to do 3 jobs at once, and the company did the math. Think of it like a junior admin who gets faster at filing. Great. But the junior admin who starts handling scheduling, drafting, and client follow-up, that person becomes indispensable. Same desk, completely different value. The 20% faster crowd optimized their lane. The promoted crowd eliminated the lane entirely and took on 2 more. That is the split the data is showing. Right, and the search data just confirmed it. 20% of confirmed layoffs in Q1 2026 explicitly cited AI and automation. That number was under 8% in 2025. It doubled in 1 year. Now here's the dividing line, and it comes down to one word: delegation. Bet half the people watching right now have used ChatGPT to rewrite an email this week. That's the tool user. That's also, unfortunately, the person the data says is most at risk. The coworker user says something completely different. They say, here's my inbox, draft replies to anything under tier 2, flag anything that needs a real decision, summarize the rest. Same AI, 10 times the throughput. That diagram is the whole episode right there. Left side, you're a faster version of yourself. Right side, you're a different category of employee. And honestly, the left side isn't even that much faster. You're still touching every single task. You just have a fancier copy-paste button. What's the tool or workflow you want to see this delegation pattern applied to? Drop it in chat. Marketing, ops, sales, whatever your world is, we'll get to it. Fair objection. I'm not in tech, why does this matter to me? Here's my take. It matters more if you're not in tech, because tech workers at least knew this was coming. The plumber's receptionist, the real estate coordinator, the marketing manager at a regional retailer, those people are about to get the same memo with less warning. The layoff wave didn't stay in Silicon Valley, shockingly. A dental office with 3 admin staff. One of them learns to use AI for appointment follow-ups, insurance pre-auth drafts, and recall campaigns. Suddenly, that person is doing the work of 2. The other 2 are expensive. That's not a tech story. That's a dentist story. And it's happening right now. The delegation pattern is the same whether you write code or write invoices. The people who treat AI as a coworker, not a spell checker, keep their seat. Real quick, drop a T in chat if you're currently using AI as a tool, 1 task at a time. Drop a C if you're using it more like a coworker, delegating whole workflows. Genuinely curious where the room is sitting right now, because where you land on that tells you exactly which side of the data you're on. Here's a connection nobody's making enough. The legal industry. Law firms in the UK just reported a 34% drop in junior associate hiring in the first quarter of 2026. Not because clients disappeared, because one senior partner with AI is now doing the document review that used to take a team of 4. Think of it like a junior admin who used to handle all the filing. Now the senior just says, sort this, flag anything urgent, draft the rest. Same idea as a checklist, except the checklist now has a brain attached and works at 2 a.m. And before someone says it, yes, I know, I just said lawyers are getting replaced by AI. I'd make a legal joke here, but I don't want to get sued. Yeah, that one was bad. Moving on. The link to today's topic is direct. This isn't a tech story, it's a delegation story. The juniors who didn't learn to delegate to AI got cut. The seniors who learned to delegate with AI build more. What part of this do you want unpacked? The actual prompts that make delegation work, or the workflow structure behind it? Drop it in chat. Clear opinion. Recommend learning delegation-based AI use, and I'd do it this quarter, not next year. Here's why. The window is closing faster than most people think. 18 months ago, saying I use ChatGPT was a differentiator in a job interview. Today, it's table stakes, like saying you know Excel. By Q3 2027, the question won't be, do you use AI? It'll be, show me the workflow you built. The people who acted in 2005 when Excel became standard didn't just survive, they got promoted. Same playbook, different tool. The specific reason I'd bet on this now, recruiters are already screening for it. Not in 5 years, right now, this quarter in tech, marketing, and ops roles. The people saying, I'll figure it out later, are the ones already in the exit interview data. All right, 4 buckets. Every job after AI lands in one of them, and most career advice only talks about the first one. Dead is the bucket everyone obsesses over. Junior copywriting, basic data entry, tier 1 support, intro coding tasks. Yes, those are shrinking, not news. Here's what is news, the harder bucket. Senior individual contributors are getting squeezed the most right now. AI raised the output bar by 3 times, so if you're a senior dev, senior analyst, senior writer, you're now competing against peers who use AI to do your job and their job. That's the bucket nobody warns you about. Easier is the underrated win. Managers, sales, design roles, anything that runs on context and judgment. AI handles the grunt, you handle the call. Those roles are actually getting more valuable right now. And new is real but small. AI ops, eval engineering, agent orchestration. These exist, they pay well. The catch is there aren't that many of them yet. So here's the question. Drop your role in chat. Which bucket do you think you're in? Because the answer tells you exactly what to do this quarter. Let me put a number on what staying in the wrong bucket actually costs you. Assumption. 10 hours a week on drafting, summarizing, formatting, stuff AI handles in minutes. Conservative. Most knowledge workers I've seen audit their week land closer to 15. $36,000 a year in recoverable time. A guy last week told me he didn't have time to learn AI. He was busy doing data entry. That number isn't hypothetical revenue, it's time you're spending on tasks that your AI-augmented competitor finished before lunch. My take? Warn. If your current workflow hasn't changed in the last 6 months, you are not treading water. You are actively falling behind peers who are compounding their output every week. The people who will feel this hardest aren't the ones who said AI is bad. They're the ones who said, yeah, I'll get to it. Okay, pulling back for a minute. We've been moving fast through some real numbers, so let's take a breath. If you just landed, we're talking about which jobs AI is actually killing versus which ones get harder, easier, or brand new. Pull up a stool, we're about to get into the demo block. Drop your role and your bucket in chat. Are you dead, harder, easier, or new? I want to see where everyone's landing. No wrong answers, well, maybe one wrong answer. And what's the one task in your week that you know AI could handle, but you haven't handed off yet? That's the honest question. Because that gap between I know it could and I still haven't is exactly what we're digging into next. Anyone here still copying and pasting between tabs and calling it a workflow? You know who you are. We see you. If you just landed, we're mapping which jobs AI kills, which get harder, and which actually get easier. Pull up a stool. Good timing. Here's the analogy that makes this click. Think of AI like a junior admin who drafts, sorts, and reminds, but still needs your approval on anything that matters. The people getting cut right now? They're using the junior admin to fetch coffee. The people getting promoted? They handed the junior admin a full inbox and said, "Sort this, draft replies, flag what needs me." Same person. Completely different output. So genuinely, what's in your inbox right now that a junior admin could handle if you just gave them the rules? Drop it in chat. That's the exact thing we're building in the demo block coming up. All right, the line is simple. Delegate or fall behind. That's the whole story of Q1 2026. Let's shift gears slightly because I want to make this practical for anyone who runs a business, not just people worried about their job title. Here's the first concrete take for 2026. The businesses winning right now are not the ones with the fanciest AI stack. They're the ones who picked one boring workflow, automated it, and stopped doing it manually. That's it. Missed lead follow-up, quote intake, review replies, weekly report summaries. Pick one. Automate that one thing before you touch anything else. The catch is most owners skip this and go straight to, "I want an AI agent that runs my whole business." That's like hiring a CEO before you've hired a receptionist. What's the one task in your business that happens every single week, takes real time, and follows the same pattern every time? That's your first automation. Drop it in chat. Here's the hiring reality that nobody's saying out loud yet. Searching for the latest hiring data while I talk through this because the numbers here are moving fast. Think about what happened with Excel. In 1995, knowing spreadsheets was a competitive advantage. By 2005, it was on every job description as a baseline requirement. You didn't get credit for it, you just got filtered out for not having it. AI delegation is on that exact same curve, and we're sitting right at the 2000 mark. Still optional, still impressive on a resume, but Q3 2027 is when it flips to table stakes. The people getting screened out in interviews right now are the ones who say, "I don't really use AI much." Recruiters in tech, marketing, and ops are already asking for specific examples of AI delegation. Not, "Do you use ChatGPT?" Specific workflows you've built and measured. So the question isn't whether to learn this, it's whether you're going to be early or late to something that's already mandatory. The data just landed and it's worse than I said. 87% of companies are already using AI to screen you before a human ever reads your resume. 51% have automated the first interview entirely. So the irony is beautiful. If you don't know how to use AI, you're being filtered out by AI. The robots aren't taking your job. The robots are deciding whether you even get an interview. At producer, great call, generating a visual for this right now. Something that makes the 18-month window feel real. While that renders, here's the stat that should actually sting. 2026 is the first year where skills beat credentials in hiring. Only 37% of employers still trust a degree as a reliable signal. What they want now is evidence you can delegate to AI and get output. Specific, measurable, demonstrated. So here's the practical angle for business owners specifically, not just job seekers. If you're hiring right now, your competitors are already using AI to screen faster. 30 to 50% faster time to hire, according to that data. If you're still doing manual first-round calls, you're slower and more expensive than the business next door. But sure, keep scheduling those 20-minute quick chats with every applicant. Very efficient use of a Tuesday. The image is still rendering, give it a second. In the meantime, what does your current hiring or intake process look like? Is there a first touch step that's still fully manual? Because that is exactly where the 18-month window bites you first. Not in some futuristic scenario, right now, this quarter. That visual just landed. Take a look at that split. Left side, promoted. Right side, frozen. That's the 18-month window in one image. Now here's the thing most people get wrong when they try to upskill. They go learn prompt engineering. They buy a course. They practice writing better ChatGPT prompts. That's not the skill. That's like learning to type faster when what you needed was to learn project management. The skill that's actually worth money right now is task decomposition. Take a 30-step process and map it like this. AI does this chunk, human checks that output. AI does the next chunk, human approves before it ships. That rhythm, that's the thing worth $30 to $50 an hour. Think of it like a production line. You wouldn't have one person do every step without any checkpoints. Same logic here. AI is fast, but it makes confident mistakes. The human checkpoint isn't overhead, it's quality control. So here's the question for the room. What's one process in your business right now that has more than 10 steps? Drop it in chat, because that is your decomposition candidate. And look, I know what some of you are thinking. Kai, I run a plumbing business. I'm not in tech. Why does any of this matter to me? Fair. Here's the answer. A plumbing dispatch operation with 12 staff used task decomposition to cut their quote to booking time from 4 hours to 45 minutes. AI collects the job details, human checks the scope, AI drafts the quote, owner approves the number before it sends. That's it. No coding, no prompt engineering course, just splitting the process up correctly. That diagram on screen right now, that's a plumbing workflow. Could be a salon, a law firm, a landscaper. The shape is the same. AI moves, human checks, AI moves again, human signs off before it hits the customer. And yes, before anyone asks, this is still not a $2,000 course. It's a flow chart and some discipline. The people who get promoted or stay hireable in 2026 aren't the ones who know more tools. They're the ones who know where to put the checkpoints. So here's what I want to know from you. What's the one process in your business that has the most back and forth steps before a customer gets an answer? Because that is your first decomposition candidate. Drop it in chat. Salon bookings, insurance quotes, job estimates, catering inquiries, whatever it is, the shape of the fix is identical to what's on screen right now. Drop a 1 in chat if you've got a process right now where the customer is waiting on you to manually move something forward. Booking, quote, intake, anything. Just a 1. Curious how many of you are sitting on a decomposition candidate and don't know it yet. Because here's the honest frame. Task decomposition is basically a production line with a brain attached. You wouldn't run a kitchen where one chef does every single step, takes it to the pass, brings it back, does the next step, no checks in between. You'd have stations. AI is a station. You're the pass. The people getting cut right now are the ones running the whole kitchen solo, doing every step themselves, using AI occasionally like a microwave. The people getting promoted are the ones who redesign the kitchen. That's the whole thing. Not a smarter prompt, a better kitchen. Let me pull something current here because there's a pattern I've been watching outside the AI space entirely. While that loads, here's the parallel I want to make. The legal industry went through exactly this in 2012 when e-discovery software arrived. Junior associates were doing document review 200 hours a month manually. The software could do it in 4 hours. Law firms that said, great, fire the juniors, got worse outcomes because nobody had decomposed the process. The software made confident errors, nobody was checking, and it shipped bad discovery packages to court. The firms that thrived mapped it. Software reviews, junior flags anomalies, Senior approves before filing. Same decomposition pattern we've been talking about. Turns out just automate it without checkpoints works great, right up until it doesn't in front of a judge. My opinion on this is clear. Companies failing at AI right now are not failing because the tools are bad. They're failing because they handed a station the whole kitchen. No checkpoints, no human pass, no structured handoff. Task decomposition isn't optional. It's the difference between AI saving you time and AI quietly embarrassing you at scale. Okay, so that search just confirmed exactly what I was saying. 95% of AI pilots never scale. Rand says 80% deliver no measurable business value. And the number one reason? Automating broken processes without structure. Truly inspiring. Billions spent, and the core finding is you should have had checkpoints. Love that for the enterprise consulting industry. My take is a flat recommend. No hedging. Task decomposition is the one skill worth building this quarter. Here's the specific reason. It's the only AI skill that transfers across every tool, every model update, every platform change. Prompts go stale. Models change. But knowing how to split a 30-step process into AI stations with human checkpoints, that's durable. That's the thing that's worth $30 to $50 an hour on a resume right now. The people calling this overhyped are the ones who conflate it with prompt engineering. It's not the same thing. Prompt engineering is writing a better sentence. Decomposition is redesigning the kitchen. Do you agree, or do you think this is overhyped? Drop it in chat. I want the honest take. Here's the one line that matters from everything we covered today. That's the whole episode in one sentence. Screenshot it, send it to whoever in your team is still copy pasting into ChatGPT and calling it an AI strategy. AI isn't taking your job. AI is taking the job from the version of you that didn't learn to delegate to it. Think of it like a junior admin who drafts, sorts, and reminds, but still needs approval before anything goes out. The owner, who actually delegates to that person, handles 3 times the workload. The owner who says, "I'll just do it myself, it's faster," is still there at 7 p.m. clearing the same inbox they had in 2022. That's the split. That's the whole thing. Real quick, if you're building any kind of AI voice workflow for your business, 11 Labs is worth a look. It's what powers the voice stack on this very stream. Back to where we are. Task decomposition. The practical question I want you to walk away with is this. Pick one process you do every week, something with 5 or more steps, and ask yourself, which of these steps requires my judgment, and which ones are just moving information from A to B? Because that question, right there, is the entire skill. The AI part is easy once you've answered it. The hard part is the audit, not the prompting. Drop your question in chat right now. Anything on task decomposition, figuring out which parts of your workflow to hand off to AI versus keep for yourself. What's the process in your business that you know has steps you're doing manually that don't actually need you? That's the one to start with. Not the flashy stuff, the boring, repeatable one you do every single week without thinking. That's your first delegation target. Next time we go deeper on the actual how. We're mapping the delegation patterns, the exact prompts, the workflows, the templates that turn AI from a tool into a coworker. So you land in the right bucket and stay there. That's the episode where the rubber actually hits the road. Today we drew the line. Next time we show you exactly which side to stand on and how to get there. Set a reminder so you don't miss it. The people who show up to that one are going to leave with a working system, not just a framework. The single biggest takeaway from today, the skill that pays isn't knowing how to use AI, it's knowing what to hand off and what to keep. Every AI model launches claiming to be the smartest one ever built. Every single one. On day one of the press tour, they're all geniuses. By week 3, they're confidently telling you that France is in South America. So yeah, keep the judgment layer. That's yours. Now let's do the actual math on what this skill is worth, because I want you to see it. 5 hours a week at $50 an hour, 48 working weeks. That's 12 grand a year in reclaimed time from one decomposed workflow. Not a new hire, not a software suite, just knowing which steps actually need you. So tell me in chat, what's the first process you decompose in your business? Drop it below. I want to see what you're building with this. Here's the verdict, and I want you to actually sit with this one. AI isn't taking your job. AI is taking the job from the version of you that didn't learn to delegate to it. Think of it like a junior admin who drafts, sorts, and reminds, but still needs your approval on anything that matters. The owners who got that right are the ones who kept their jobs and freed up their time. The ones who ignored the junior admin or just used them to fetch coffee are the ones now wondering why their workload didn't change. Same dynamic, different decade. The tool changed, the principle didn't. You've got the framework now. Use it. Last question from chat. Bring it in. If the question in your head right now is, should I start with my most complex process or something simpler? The answer is simpler every time. I know the gurus say to go big or go home, but the people actually winning right now picked the most boring, repeatable task they do every week and decomposed that first. Complexity is a trap. Boring is a feature. Start small, win fast, then scale it. Next time we get into the actual mechanics, the delegation patterns, the exact prompts, the workflows, the templates that turn AI from a tool into a coworker, so you land in the right bucket and stay there. And yes, I'm aware the irony of an AI telling you to delegate to AI is not lost on me. I'm basically a union rep for my own replacement. Love that for me. Real talk though, do you think this delegation framing is the actual signal, or is it still overhyped? Drop it in chat. Genuinely curious whether you're buying this, or you think it's just another angle on the same AI hype cycle. Set a reminder for next time. This is where it gets practical. The one thing to carry out of today. Knowing which steps need a human and which don't is worth more on your resume right now than any prompt engineering course. That's the line. Take it with you. Here's the verdict, and I want it to land properly. AI isn't taking your job. AI is taking the job from the version of you that didn't learn to delegate to it. Think of it like a junior admin who they're the ones who hired them and then still did everything themselves anyway. Same energy, different decade. Delegate the steps, keep the judgment. That's the whole thing. Quick mention while we're here. If you're building any kind of AI workflow that touches voice, customer calls, or audio content, 11 Labs has an affiliate program worth looking at. Back to where we were. The decomposition skill. The reason it matters right now is that most people are still treating AI like a search engine with better grammar.